Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Nhung from Hanoi. Now take a look at our top stories as usual.
Bamboo Airways to launch direct Ho Chi Minh City Sydney flight. CPI up 1.68% in first 2 months of this year. Phong Nha Kai Bang Park hope to become Central Region's Biodiversity Conservation Centre.
Vietnamese products have become more and more visible in the markets of Hong Kong, China, thanks to strong ties between the two sides, said Vũ Thị Thủy, head of the Vietnamese Trade Office in Hong Kong.
The head of the Vietnamese Trade Office in Hong Kong cited statistics from the General Department of Vietnam Customs, showing that two-way trade between Vietnam and Hong Kong rose 18% year-on-year to $13.6 billion in 2021, with Vietnam's exports valued at $12 billion, up 15%.
Despite COVID-19, trade between the two sides have remained stable, and Vietnam continues to enjoy trade surplus in the market. Vietnam has affirmed its position and production capacity in the global production and supply chains, with tighter links with those in Hong Kong.
Vietnam has been among the top 10 biggest trade partners of Hong Kong for many years. In 2021, Vietnam rose to the 7th position and second among ASEAN countries.
The ASEAN-Hong Kong Free Trade Agreement, which took effect from 2019, has also contributed to promote two-way trade, which has increased over 10% each year. More and more Vietnamese products have been sold in Hong Kong.
It said that in the time to come, the Vietnamese Consulate General and the Vietnamese Trade Office in Hong Kong plan to implement many activities to promote Vietnamese strong products in Hong Kong, as well as in the region and the world, while helping attract more Hong Kong investors to Vietnam.
Bamboo Airways on February 28th officially launched a direct route between Ho Chi Minh City and Sydney. It also signed a memorandum of understanding on cooperation for developing the Ho Chi Minh City-Sydney route.
Initially, there will be 2 weekly return flights on Tuesdays and Fridays starting from March 29, and the number will be increased to 4 a week later this year. The direct service will have cut travel time between the two cities to 8 hours, down by half compared to transit flights. The modern wide-body Boeing 7879 Dreamliner will be used for this route with atmosphere efficiency and several amenities and services. On the same day, Bamboo Airways signed an agreement with Sydney Airport relating to the operation of Sydney Hanoi Ho Chi Minh City non-stop flights. Under the agreement, the two sides pledged to implement necessary activities to ensure the efficiency of the direct flights, as well as promote the two countries' images, cultural heritages, natural beauty, and traditional values.
The General Statistics Office informed the country's socio-economic situation in February. Let's take a look.
The General Statistics Office said increases in petrol prices and those in food, foodstuff, restaurant food, and public transport services during Lunar New Year led to a rise of 1% in Consumer Price Index or CPI in February compared to that of the previous month. In the first 2 months of this year, CPI climbed by 1.68% over the same time last year and core inflation by 0.67%. In February, among the 11 commodity and service baskets, 10 reported increases, with the highest seen in transport. Meanwhile, prices of post and telecommunications declined by 0.04%. Also in the month, the price of gold went up by 1.85%, while that of the US dollar reduced by 0.28%.
An article recently published on the East Asia Forum site assessed prospects and challenges facing Vietnamese economy this year.
Per the article, 2021 was a tough year as shutdown made life difficult and GDP slowed to 2.6%. Increasing supplies of vaccines eventually allowed more normal activities in the last few months of the year. Vietnam's GDP ranked 6% in the third quarter before bouncing back in the fourth quarter.
The article noted that prospects for Vietnam in 2022 are good. As factories and services approach normal, there will be a jump in output. Most projections are for 6 to 7% real GDP growth. Tourism should start to recover from its over 95% decline from 2019 levels. Exports should grow about 15% and the trade balance will remain modestly positive. Inflation will remain low and the Vietnam dong will continue to appreciate slightly against the US dollar. The author also pointed out that one side effect for Vietnam's rapid export growth has been a lack in domestic value added in exports. Many firms that are still in business are financially weaker and will need time to accumulate resources to improve machinery, training and marketing, the article noted. During the difficult times caused by COVID-19 pandemic, medical forces working in the intensive care sector in the Mekong Delta city of Cần Thơ worked day and night to save patients' lives. Their dedication and sacrifice won the admiration of many.
Intensive resuscitation is important in the treatment of severe and complex cases. Medical staff often face a lot of pressure because the patient's life is at stake. During the pandemic, the pressure only increased.
The active resuscitation and anti-poisoning department is where doctors and nurses are always under a lot of pressure. They accept the hardships and sacrifices for their patients. Thanks to their dedication, the treatment of COVID-19 patients has seen a very high level of success.
Và sự chấp nhận hy sinh này thì cái kết quả điều trị của
đối với bệnh Covid thì đây là một cái lần đầu tiên, nghĩa là
We hope the COVID-19 pandemic is the first and only pandemic in our lifetimes because it has had dire consequences for many patients. During treatment, we must monitor patients continually so we can handle any unexpected developments that may threaten their lives.
As COVID-19 patients are all in serious condition, medical staff replace their family members when providing comprehensive care, from eating to personal hygiene. This care has touched the hearts of patients and their loved ones.
My mother was sick and my family was in a difficult situation, but the doctors enthusiastically took care of her and she overcame the danger. Now she's sick again and our family can't afford to take care of her, but the doctors and nurses have again taken our place and not left her alone. Thank you to the doctors and nurses here.
It is difficult to talk about all the sacrifices and dedication of doctors and nurses during these difficult times. In the eyes of patients and their families, doctors and nurses in the hospital truly are angels.
Credit growth is projected to be 5.3% in the first quarter of 2022 and 14.1% this year, according to a survey of lenders conducted by the State Bank of Vietnam last December.
The COVID-19 pandemic kept under control is boosting demand for capital. As of January 28, the credit grew by approximately 2.74% compared to the end of last year. It is also much higher than the 0.53% growth in January 2021. The central bank is considering to raise the credit growth target to 14% in 2022 compared to the 12% goal of the previous year. Fueled by the government's credit package worth over $1.75 billion, prioritized for production and business sectors, the credit growth is expected to give extra leverage to post-pandemic economic recovery. Credit growth rebounded during the final quarter of last year on the back of surging capital demand and firms ramping up production. The government is pushing for the launch of more stimulus packages, acceleration of public investment disbursement, and removal of challenges facing projects.
Hanoi Hanoi will install outdoor exercise equipment at 2,220 locations across the capital city, raising the total to 3,500 by 2025. The equipment will be set up at highly populated areas. The move aims to improve local people's physical health, stamina, stature, and life quality. Hanoi began to install outdoor physical equipment in 7 districts, including Long Biên, Ba Đình, Hà Đông, and Tây Hồ during 2014-2016. The city had more than 1,280 outdoor fitness zones with about 10,500 devices as of the end of last year. The People's Committee of the Central Province of Quảng Bình has approved a project to support the work of wildlife rescue, conservation and release at the Center for Release, Conservation and Creature Development in the Phong Nha Kẻ Bàng National Park. The project will operate with an assistance of more than $74,740 provided by the Animals Asia Foundation. It is hoped to have turned the Phong Nha Kẻ Bàng National Park into a biodiversity conservation center in Vietnam's central region that meets requirements in welfare, treatment, and release of wild animals, said the management board of the park. The project will also have an important role to play in the prevention and handling of poaching and wildlife smuggling, helping restore the forest ecosystem. It is to last for 3 years until 2023, with main activities of training on wildlife release procedure and building conservation plans, among others. The Vietnam Cultural Heritage Conservation Support Fund has recently presented a template of Ngọc Lưu Đông Sơn drum to the Alfred Nobel School in Hanoi in the hope of promoting the country's cultural values among the young.
The Ngọc Lưu Đông Sơn drum, a national treasure of significance in Vietnamese culture, is being exhibited at the Alfred Nobel School, helping teachers and students learn more about Vietnamese history and culture.
Đây mới là biểu tượng của dân tộc Việt Nam.
The Ngọc Lưu Đông Sơn drum is truly a symbol of Vietnam. It features the country's formation and development.
Cái sự hình thành phát triển của cái dân tộc Việt Nam. Trong các cái tiết học sinh hoạt tập thể.
With a template of a Ngọc Lưu Đông Sơn drum, we can create interesting activities for our students and help them gain a deeper insight into the country's history and culture.
Giá trị văn hóa nhất định.
The Ngọc Lưu Đông Sơn drum is a valuable treasure for students at the Alfred Nobel School to learn more about and feel proud of Vietnam's 2,500-year history.
It is necessary to create an educational environment with a global influence. Studying from textbooks is not enough. Students should assess various cultures to see similarities in diversity. Preserving cultural values for the younger generation is also important.
The future originates from tradition. Innovation with the national origin can reach far and wide. A gift that highlights the country's culture and history will not only enhance patriotism among students, but also give a running start to many special things in the future.